What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Yard Red Festival. This is going to be Game 2 between Denial Esports and mYi. This is, of course, going to decide who's going to be moving on and who's going to be dropping down to the lower brackets. Whoever's moving on is going to be facing up against Power Rangers. Here on now HeflaTV 1, I'm going to be one of your casters. I'm Mike Loris, and I'm going to be joined for a short time by Coucher.
Yes, only for the draft, most likely, unless Moscow 5 versus Album Sheet is going to be delayed even further. Already 30 minutes late anyway, so... But looking at the draft Denial, they are one game behind. They definitely want to just tie up the series and take this to game 3. They do start with a Skyref Mage as well. That hero is just so popular, no matter what you do to him, it feels like. But mYi, they banned out the Legion Commander themselves now. What other strategy do they just have up their sleeves?
I mean, obviously you can't be 100% reliant on just the Legion Commander. Brewmaster has gotten through the pool. It worked pretty well for Denial, all things considered, but I feel like just everything else in Denial wasn't working well for them in the last game, so I'd be surprised if mYi don't pick that one up. Well, there we go. It is going to be a Brewmaster pickup for them, so they're going to shift gears, and we're going to see what they have this game. Hopefully it's going to be just as exciting, though it's kind of hard to top a Legion Commander game.
Yeah, the previous game was pretty action-packed as well. Lots of brawling going on, just heroes being so damn tanky, early mechs, Crimson Guards by both sides, more or less. So mYi, the more popular heroes like Death Prophet, of course, unfortunately banned already for them. I guess you could pick up something like a support, maybe on a nerve shake, although you don't really want to stack up on melee heroes if you just can help it. Oh, a Rubik. There's nothing massive to steal quite yet, but I guess Rubik overall is just a solid support and it's never really a bad hero.
Yeah, it's as you said, never really a bad hero. It's very consistent with what he does and providing you, at the very least, that telekinesis displacement, which sometimes is relevant, sometimes is not. It is a ranged support with a setup, and those are not too common, although I think in general, if you're going to be willing to pick up a Rubik very early on, you should be more willing to pick up a Vengeful Spirit. I feel like that hero probably just brings more to the table, but I mean, with the Brewmaster, the partnership is pretty clear. You just drag them straight into a clap pre-blink dagger, and then usually things go pretty decently for you at that stage, but I don't know, picking it up this early when you could pick up so many other heroes, and you could pick up Rubik 5th. Like, Rubik is so very rarely often touched in the ban phase. I don't know if I like this for mYi.
I completely have to agree with you on the fact that you could have gone for it later on as well. And I mean, I'm not even too sure. Maybe they're trying to go for some big ultimates themselves, or we're just trying to make it so that Denial can't go for a second pick Rubik just to steal the primal split. Although, not too sure if you should be that worried about it. Just to pick it yourself, like block pick it. But Denial going for a Sand King as the second one. It's most likely going to be the support 2-1 now. Ancient Seal, of course, boosting up the epicenter damage can be pretty damn sick. Although, do you think, is there a minor chance that we're going to see either of those heroes being played as core?
They should try to avoid it. The Skywrath Mage, Sand King, just those two in combo with one another is so powerful that if you voluntarily decide to avoid it, then you're probably doing yourself a little bit more harm than help. I mean, Sand King, Skywrath Mage, especially the Skywrath Mage, is one of the few heroes that actually lets Sand King play aggressively from level 1. If you pick up Brown Boots from the get-go as Sand King, you could very easily get a couple kills early on, especially when you're ganking the likes of Rubik. So I expect this is going to be the support lineup for Denial. And, I mean, the Sand King is going to give Rubik a couple of good skills to steal, so in that regard, not exactly the best, but if you're playing around that, you've already lost the game. So you really can't go wrong with what they have right now, as we do see the second bans coming out. Denial very heavily going to target the harder carries of mYi, and mYi can help out a little bit with the PA, also kicking out the Batrider, so definitely scared about Denial's Blink initiations.
I would be as well. Just Blink initiation overall is so damn scary, or such a scary thing to have. And usually, most fights will just end up in the favor of the one who's getting the jump on the enemy. So, the more blinks you have, the more chances for you to initiate as well. But Denial, they have two supports. They have just all the core still to go for mYi. I don't think they have like a clear idea what Denial is going to go for here still. It's not like mYi themselves, Brewmaster, Rubik, just rather generic heroes. So what are we even going to see here? Are we going to see something like another check hero just to get some more mid-game presence?
It could be a possibility. I think for Denial, the lack of success in the last game would mean that they're a little bit less willing to go for it again right here. But for my Insanity with the Brewmaster, maybe my Insanity are going to really stick it to Denial and pick up a very similar comp to what Denial had last game and show them how it's done. I love it when that happens for teams just because it's like in-game pseudo out-of-game BM. But yeah, who knows? My Insanity, they, as you said, could go in any direction really. Maybe they're going to want to play the team fight game, although go for Troll Warlord. It worked for them last game. You might as well go for it again.
Well, it's a mech carrier for them already, I guess, if they're gonna play it the same way they did in the last game. It definitely worked out for them. Don't think Troll was like a major part in the victory, but definitely helping out with the battle trance, of course. So Denial, what do they go for now? Do they go for some like even more lockdown to try to deal with the Brewmaster or really anybody for that matter? Or are we gonna see just a beefy core, something like a Spectre maybe?
Yeah, I think they're okay right now as far as the crowd control is concerned. Really, they just have to make sure that their lanes are able to kill that which my Insanity have picked up. And Troll Warlord is an easy enough hero to gank if they have cores that could actually contribute. I think I would actually like to see Denial either, straight turtle up and then try to get something like a Spectre or Medusa in the late game with their two supports holding down the fort. Or I would like to see them just meet my Insanity head on. And with the Nature's Prophet, it so far looks like they're going to meet them head on. I mean, Nature's Prophet teleporting into a Sand King Scarth Mage gank is absolutely freaking terrifying.
Oh, it most certainly is. It's just a matter now how Denial will lane this. I'm still hoping or expecting just a safe tri lane just to make sure Sand King can actually stack and farm up the jungle. They could of course go aggressive as well if they really wanted, with just Nature's Prophet being the fourth hero to TP in there. And Nature's Prophet would just get most likely guaranteed levels on the safe lane. But we'll see how they want to go about this. My Insanity. Oh, they're picking up an IO, so global presence for themselves as well.
I love it. My Insanity are going to do what Denial tried to do last game. And if it works, then you get like so many plus style points if you're my Insanity. The question is this going to just be an IO Troll Warlord combination? Are they going to be going towards the mid lane? Right now, Denial don't have a mid lane hero for themselves, and, well, now they do in the Invoker. I think that's something that my Insanity are going to be more than happy to run Troll IO into, as it should be more or less an even lane. So, yeah, it should be, I would expect that, but my Insanity supports, they are extremely, extremely defensive, borderline useless as far as offensive capabilities are concerned. So it's going to be 100% up to the cores of my Insanity to carry this game.
It's definitely so. Maybe if Io can get level 6, his usefulness will just rise. If he can get the relocate ganks going, of course. But before that, yes, like you said, extremely defensive. And I'm not too sure if it really fits with their lineup. I mean, Troll and Brewmaster, they would usually like to start the fights rather early, Rubik and Io. I guess Rubik, or for this, both supports, they rely on their level 6s quite heavily, so as mine said, depend on the Sven. I'm not too sure why. I mean, Denial, I guess they could have gone for it, but Lifestealer is the pick for them.
Yeah, I don't really know why the Sven ban was there. It didn't really seem like a threat from Denial, but Lifestealer, that is just such a great hero to shore up this game. I mean, now with Lifestealer, Troll, and Brewmaster, those three are able to just carry the game without supports. Like, they don't need Rubik and Io to do anything, but they're going to get benefits anyway. They have the extremely cute combination of Io Lifestealer bombs, which is you put your Lifestealer inside the Wisp, you tether to the Troll Warlord, and then you teleport 3 guys in. I don't really know if that's going to be relevant, but I sure as hell hope it is going to be relevant. Lifestealer is pretty much the hero that my Insanity needed right now. It's going to be really hard for Denial to overcome this, and they go for a Slark. I thought with the Invoker they would go for a really hard hyper carry. Slark is decent in the late game, but hell, Denial, they have to once again win very early on, or else they're going to lose late game. This is pretty much the exact same draft that we saw in game number 1, except with different heroes.
Well, the worst Denial, do they even have the just worse late game here? Nature's Prophet, Invoker, and Slark?
I think they do. I mean, Lifestealer is able to plow through all of them, and especially when he has the attack speed from both Io and the Troll Warlord, Lifestealer is going to be unstoppable later on, I think. Maybe they could rat their way out of this with split push, and that's probably going to be the most annoying thing for my Insanity, but then they have an Io to deal with that, so I just feel like Denial they have to get in under my Insanity, and that is very possible with the lack of early game for my Insanity.
Well, at least for Denial, if it really comes to late game, they're going to have supports, or at least one of the supports can still be extremely just crucial for the team fight team, and then Sand King. And I still think that just the supports for both sides, really, to be honest, are going to play a huge part about how this game goes. If Sand King can get the early blink dagger, he should be able to influence the game enough to have Denial snowball. Whereas my Insanity, if they can get the fast level 6 on Rubik, get the spell steal, get the relocates going, it just might snowball the other way. And man, my Insanity, their heroes are just, at least the cores are better suited to fight early.
Then you think the mY Insanity cores are better to fight early or Denial?
My Insanity.
Really? Because I would say
cores.
Denial, like with the Slark.
When Invoker, he needs quite a lot of levels before he does sick amounts of damage. Nature's Prophet is rather useless for quite some time. And Slark, he can die pretty fast as well.
Okay, I could buy that, but okay, I see what you're going for. I think the fact that mY Insanity have the Rubik IO means that inherently, even though their carries can, in theory, fight, they're not going to want to fight just because Denial supports are going to be able to provide so much. If you get a Burst Strike in, you're going to land a Sunstrike, you're going to land a Pounce, and then Rage is the only tool that you really have to keep yourself safe. So it is kind of a mixed bag for both teams, I'll give you that. But I just think Denial, with their supports being actually able to do stuff from the get-go, they're going to be able to get that snowball going. And again, get in underneath mY Insanity before they get really big.
I have to agree that it might be so that the supports kind of tipped the scales in Denial's favor early on. Oh god, IO and Rubik. What on earth made them go for those supports? At least the support duo like that.
I have no idea.
The Rubik pick is still like, what to me, to be honest, at least that early on.
Yeah, me too. Like, usually I would say for mY Insanity's lineup, if you take their 4 heroes minus Rubik plus Skywrath Mage, that's something that we see quite often because IO with one other hero is usually going to be in dual lanes. There are tri-lane scenarios sometimes, but as far as support heroes that can pressure lanes and do stuff just by their own, Skywrath Mage is on top. Maybe for mY Insanity, a Lich would have been a lot better in that role. I think then their draft would have been just as defensive, and that's clearly what they want to go for, but they also would have been able to fight a little bit more effectively early.
That is certainly true, and whoa, some lines being drawn on the map now, and I actually think I'm gonna have to leave you now as well, since my own game is starting in about 4 minutes, so just good luck!
Alright, so guys, just going to be me from here on out, and hopefully not going to make any crucial mistakes, and if we do, we're not going to talk about them, as we are now unpaused, so everything lining up perfectly as far as the timings are concerned. And we'll see how these lanes are actually going to unfold. On the Denial side, we got Joral playing the Slark. That is not the Lifestealer at all. He's been playing the Slark down to the bottom lane with fucking mad with the brown boots level 1. Love this start from the Sand King. He's going to be hopefully playing pretty aggressively along with Krio's Skywrath Mage. Over towards mid, it's going to be Funzy's Invoker. Nothing too surprising there. And then the off lane, it's going to be Nature's Prophet, also with boots first. So lots of boots already on this game. On the mY Insanity side, we got Milan playing the Lifestealer, Smai playing the Brewmaster. The Wisp is going to be played by Io, as Grazine is going to take upon himself the Troll Warlord, and that leaves Hatawa. I think that is Victor on the Rubik, although I am not 100% because he changed his name and stuff like that. So we'll see if this aggressive play for mY Insanity actually is going to work out. Fucking mad taunting Smai right now. Like, he's so close, and he knows that really mY Insanity don't have any tools to get the Brewmaster closer. That was just the cheeky play from the Sand King. Like, he was egging him on for sure, but mY Insanity are going to take this moment to place a Sentry Ward, block off the pull camp of Denial, and when you're dealing with the Slark and when you're dealing with Sand Kings especially, as many blocks as mY Insanity can get is going to help them. This ward place was spotted by Denial, and I believe they have sentries. Do they have sentries? Okay, they don't have sentries, so this is going to stay there, and everything is going to stay there, in fact. So Sand King with the Skywrath Mage are now pretty much only able to play this game super aggressively, and this is actually going to work out decently for them. Lifestealer Rubik Io is not a strong offensive tri-lane. I mean, it can get kills. Just Lifestealer with Rubik, if you lift them up into an open wounds, it's sometimes going to be enough just to straight out kill people, especially when you're lifting up someone like a Skywrath Mage, but the chances of them killing Slark are slim to none. Sand King is kind of the same way. He has Burst Strike, not the best escape tool, and you certainly don't want to be using it for escapes, but it will be perfectly serviceable for him. I expect this defensive tri-lane for Denial to just get so much more done. I mean, obviously the Sand King is going to want to stack up and pull camps eventually, but even if he doesn't do that, he's going to be fine to just sit here and pressure, because as it stands right now, Milan's not farming and Joral is. So unless the status quo severely changes for mY Insanity, it's going to favor Denial in this kind of stalled out laning phase. mY Insanity, when you're running aggressive tri-lane, you either want to kill the enemies often and a lot, or shut them down and farm. And clearly neither of those two things are happening right now. So we're going to take a pause in that lane and look at some of the others, see how they're flowing right now. Funzy 2-0 versus the a little bit more 4-for-2 on the trolls. This mid lane is at the start going to be very difficult for the Invoker. You have a base damage advantage. Eventually, once you get Sunstrikes up and Forge Spirits up, and more points in Exhort, the lane is going to get a lot better, but it's also going to get a lot better for Gruzine as well. This lane overall should be a wash moving forward. Up on top lane, Nature's Prophet going toe-to-toe with the Brewmaster. This is Brewmaster's loadout with Stout Shield going to be pretty decent for the Brew. Nature's Prophet should not be able to get a kill on the Brewmaster just by himself. He's going to need a little bit of help from the Sand King Skyrath if he's going to get that to happen. However, the Brew, he's not really capable of getting kills in the Nature's Prophet pre-level 6. Once that split is online, then mYi will be able to kill off the Nature's Prophet. And really, Nature's Prophet, as far as lane control is concerned, he really excels at summoning the Treants and then poking away at the enemy. Between Drunken Brawler as well as Stout Shield, any sort of Treant damage is going to be very quickly shrugged off by the Brewmaster. Now he's going to start the Drunken Haze spam, so things are going to get very difficult for the top lane for Denial, but, you know, still perfectly manageable. The range advantage is going to be enough to keep this Nature's Prophet afloat in lane. But again, most of the aggression is going to be happening down on this bottom lane. A Burrow Strike is going to set up for a pounce, and that in itself is dangerous enough. A Telekinesis now is available for the Rubik, but it's certainly not going to be enough to actually save whoever is going to get struck by that, especially if he himself is going to be the one to get targeted, which I think is going to be the ideal case for Denial. They're going to look forward. They're poking. They're looking for the opportunities, keeping my Insanity on their toes. But still, Jarl is getting farm, and now they're going to open up onto Milan. He does not have a Rage, in fact. Sunstrike not being used. Fucking Matt taking quite a bit of damage, but Milan now going to open wounds up to Joral, who's already used the pounce. He's taking quite a bit of damage. Now lifts up into the air. Joral might be our first blood right now, but the Burrow Strike is going to slow him down. Not going to be enough. Lizard draws it. However, Milan now on the run is going to be dropped as well. Fucking Mad in the Sandstorm as it's going to be the Rubik. Caught in the Sprout. Sunstrike is going to be nowhere near landing, but the Rubik is going to go down to one more right click. There it is, so slow, but he does get it. Lizard is going to be the survivor of this fight, and how often do you see a Wisp survive where a Lifestealer doesn't? That is certainly a rarity. But Paris coming in and turning the tides in favor of Denial by the end of it. However, Slark, only level 2, was not able to get in and then get out. Going for the Lifestealer is kind of a bold move from the Denial side, to be honest. Like, you don't really know the Lifestealer's build. You know he has Feast because he hit a creep and you saw him heal. You would assume that he has Rage, because in an aggressive tri-lane, I would be getting Rage and open wounds over Feast, but still, the possibility for the Magic community would have been, I think, deterrent enough for Denial. And then once you fully engage onto a Lifestealer, you're going to be taking damage from both him as well as everyone else. And though a slippery hero Slark may be, you can only use your pounds to either get in or get out when it's level 1. You will not have it for both. So the Slark is unfortunately going to take his death, and now at this point things are looking actually a lot better for Mindsanity. Like, they do go down 1-2. They do get the first blood in exchange for 2 kills, which is generally going to be a wash. But now Denial, off of that kind of engagement, they're going to play this a lot slower and a lot safer. They're not going to keep up with this defensive tri-lane. They're going to let fucking Mad get his Sandstorm farm, because after all that, the Sand King getting away with 2 assists did not go down either. Is going to have level 2 Sandstorm, and that's the golden level where Sand Kings are going to want to pretty much just play PvE and jungle up for their Blink Dagger. This means that the bottom lane for Denial is going to get so much weaker. Like, Slark is always going to be set up somewhat by a concussive shot, and that's fairly dangerous if you're Rubik or Io. But Lifestealer is going to be able to handle this lane pretty much 100%. And this is something that Denial we're probably planning on doing. Like, when you pick up a Sand King, the plan is generally get a decent early start on your Sand King and then just jungle up. And level 3 on the Sand King is enough of an early start to make that happen. But this is going to severely limit the offensive capabilities of Denial. Like, they want to be fighting aggressively early on. Had a little bit of a disagreement with Couchers. I think that Denial with their support should be able to apply the steady stream of pressure. It's going to be a little bit more problematic right now as Mindsanity are going to get more control over their lanes. But a Blink Dagger on Sand King can very quickly turn that on its head. It's one of those items where the hero just has such a huge leap of power that it's very hard to kind of combat against that. And it's a similar leap of power that the Brewmaster is going to have, and when you're playing a core Brewmaster, obviously you're going to get a lot more farm than a core Sand King. Once he gets his Blink Dagger, it should be faster than the Sand King, first of all, and then Mindsanity are going to be truly able to play this game aggressively. Up until then, though, they're probably not going to find opportunities, as they do go into the enemy jungle trying to, I guess, mess with the Sand King, although they don't. It's actually a smoke being popped by fucking Mad, and Lizard's going to put himself in an awkward position. He's all alone. Where are you going, Io? There's nothing over here. Like, you're trying to chase after a Scarlet Mage, and all your allies are back here. I have no idea what the plan was there, but now it's going to be Hatawa going to get pounced upon by Joral. He's going to lift up the Sand King, bring him closer. The Arcane Bolt's going to kill him off, and whack. There we go. Rubik's going to go down. Scarlet Mage going to be the one to pick up the kill. So my Insanity voluntarily killing themselves off. Like, Rubik shouldn't have been there, first of all, and Io definitely shouldn't have been there. So I have no idea what the plan was, but it was a bad one. Grazine now going to start fighting up against Funzy. Battle Trance there, and he gets a lucky bash. Funzy's still taking a lot of damage. Going to lay a Sunstrike down for Grazine. Here comes Paris with the Sprout. Grazine, unfortunately, cannot continue right-clicking, and Funzy, with the help of Nature's Prophet, is going to get the kill on the Troll Warlord. That's 5 for 1 in favor of Denial. Their game plan is pretty much panning out just as expected. This is going to be the time where their cores, with their help with the supports, are in general going to be a little bit stronger. Of course, getting pickoffs like that randomly in the river are not exactly indicative of that, but hey, as long as they get more and more farm moving forward, then they're going to be happy. A Hand of Midas could be the pickup on the Invoker, and generally with Exhort Invokers, it is going to. I think this might be the game for it as well. Like, he's doing very well in his lane, especially when you compare how the Invoker is doing to how the Slark is doing, who has had a decent early game with the amount of farm he was getting, but has since completely stopped, as just the Lifestealer right now is able to handle the Slark pretty handily. So Slark is going to be struggling and probably not going to be a huge factor moving forward. And then at that point, your Invoker, your Nature's Prophets, they have to really pick up the slack. And they are, luckily for them, certainly heroes that can pick up the slack. But stuff like Hand of Midas is going to be pretty much integral at helping secure that early game dominance. There is a teleportation right now. Unfortunately, I don't know where that is. Is that it? That looks like a Nature's Prophet TP to me. I don't know, guys. It looks a little bit weird. So Nature's Prophet is going to be teleporting in. I don't believe my Insanity actually see this. No, they definitely don't. So this is going to be a hidden gank from the Nature's Prophet, and he's going to be jumping onto an Io and a Lifestealer. They do have one set of tangos. They do have level 2 rage, so this is going to be a tough kill. In order for this to really work out, the Scarlet Mage concussive shot has to be fired, and I think they could only go for Lizard unless they silence the Lifestealer before he gets rage off, in which case they will be able to bring him down fairly easily. But I don't know. I mean, Io has a bottle, and that's a lot of regeneration for the both of them. If Denial are 100% focusing on Milan, then it's going to be difficult because the Io is just going to be able to heal. So I think this is going to be Denial getting a kill, especially with Sunstrike available. This is a level 3 Sunstrike, so 225 pure is not to be underestimated. But I think they could only get 1. They might be able to get 2. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just overestimating how durable this Wisp is. He has 1 armor, not much HP. But he has 6 stick charges to heal up Milan. He has a bottle. He will be able to chew through Sprouts. It's going to be close. So I guess place your bets right now because Milan is once again having a couple of computer issues. Unfortunately for me, got to just sit through here and wait it out. But is there any potential support coming in for my Insanity? That's another question we have to be asking ourselves. Hatawa, Victor does not have a TP scrolls. Mai does not. Troll Warlord does, but he can't really do anything with it because it's on cooldown. So this is just the 2 heroes, my Insanity, down here, and they're going to be all alone. But I guess fortunately for my Insanity, even if they end up losing both of those heroes, they're working with a push up top lane, and they do have Battle Trance. Granted, these heroes aren't exactly the best pushers in the game. They still will have pretty much no one to deal with, so this tower is guaranteed to, at the very least, take a lot of damage. It's probably not going to go down, I want to say, although maybe I'm underestimating Battle Trance. It might be a tower for tier 2 kills trade. We'll see what's going to happen as we do get an unpause. Here comes Nature's Prophet. There's the Wrath of Nature, and the pounce forward is going to miss onto everyone. Lizard can take quite a bit of damage from the Wrath, and it looks like this might be the death of the Io. No, it won't. Where's the Lifestealer? Here's going to TP out. They didn't have enough. The pounce I thought was going to be, I thought they were going to wait for a concussive shot Ancient Seal before they actually decided to pounce, but that pounce landing means that Slark is pretty much only a level 2 hero as far as his skills are concerned, and though you can bring a Wisp down very low, 6 stick charges combined with a bottle is going to keep him up, and in the meantime, it's going to be my Insanity to claim the win. They are still up on the top lane. Battle Trance going to bring the tower down very low, and pushing heroes or not at this stage in the game with no one to resist, the tower is going to go down. So Denial, I suppose, making a good attempt on this bottom lane, but you know, attempts don't really get you that far in Dota. Funzy, I don't believe, even casted the Sunstrike because no one actually got disabled there, so he could have potentially tried to freehand an Io snipe, but those probably aren't worth your time as an Invoker. it's no real reason to go for it. This is going to be a Hand of Midas, now picked up by the Invoker. Of course, it's always going to be a very useful item to have, and especially when the Slark is not really doing well. So Invoker is now pretty much the highest damaging hero, most threatening hero for Denial, at least until the Sand King gets his Blink Dagger. Once that happens, then the game is going to swing a little bit more for the Sand King and a little bit less off the Invoker, but it's going to be Grazine to potentially be in a lot of trouble. They're going to open up with the Cold Snap. There's no silence on him just yet for the amplification, and now he is going to get silenced up. Sunstrike is going to completely whiff, though. Wouldn't have been lethal anyway. So it's going to be a little bit of pressure going the way of the Troll, but level 8 Invoker, he's hitting pretty hard. He really needs setup for the Sunstrike, though. Otherwise, the hero is rather underwhelming. Take a quick look at the Blink Dagger status. Sand King is actually farming a little bit faster than the Brewmaster. That's actually kind of surprising. Zmai just picked up a tower, and he's had this lane pretty much 1v0 for the past couple of minutes. Yet he still is not quite yet at his Blink, whereas the Sand King is heading on to there pretty swiftly. Sand King, I guess, does have 4 assists. That kind of helps. It helps a little bit, you know. Getting extra gold is always going to be useful. So Blink Dagger on the Sand King, Brewmaster should happen at around the same time. And we still have yet to see a split from Zmai, so once those splits actually start happening and they start coming down, it's going to be really hard for Denial to actually live through that. They will be able to potentially escape from that because Burrow Strike, Sandstorm, Leap Out, generally fast movement speed heroes on the Skywrath Mage. Nature's Prophet with Sprout is pretty good against that, but it's only okay. The Brewmaster is going to be the most terrifying hero in the game shortly enough. And fucking mad. He's actually not going to straight farm his Blink Dagger. He's actually going to be a Burst Strike onto Milan. Can they get the silence off? But they don't Sunstrike him. Oh, now they Sunstrike him, but he's going to dodge it. Usually you just straight Sunstrike after the Burrow Strike. So, yeah, I don't really know what happened there. Funzy had an opportunity to land a Sunstrike on Silencer, and if we look at his HP, 225, that would have been just enough to kill him off if they just fired it off. But they decided not to, or they miscommunicated and ended up not realizing that the Burrow Strike was going down. I don't know, but that could have been a kill. That should have been a kill for Denial, but at the end, it's going to be a Lifestealer walking away, and Joral trying to play aggressive versus the Wisp. He's going to miss his pounce, unfortunately. Lizard's going to tether away, so I don't really think he was going to get that kill anyway. But regardless, the Slark is now going to get a little bit of free time to farm on the bottom lane, as Maya and Sandy have pretty much all but abandoned that. I don't really know why. I feel like Milan can still be very safely farming on the bottom lane as just 1v1 versus the Slark. It's not the best of times, but with the advantage that you have being level 6 Lifestealer versus a level, well, I guess level 8 Slark right now, so now the levels advantage aren't going to be favoring Milan, but I think he could have had an opportunity to free farm the lane instead of free farming the jungle, and obviously free farming the jungle isn't even the case with Denial constantly stalking you, so my Sandy, they are kind of on the back foot, but now they have a Blink Dagger on the Brewmaster, so this is going to be their time to redeem their kill score for the next 4 minutes. And they're slightly behind in golden experience, but honestly, the numbers like this aren't too terrifying. It is going to be a Lifestealer bomb on the Brewmaster. And hell, Brewmaster with Blink Dagger is dangerous enough. Like, just by himself, I think he could pretty much kill anyone from Denial. Add a Lifestealer on top of that, and you're golden. So, who's it going to be? Is it going to be Funzy over on the mid lane, or are they going to take a trip down south into the enemy jungle? This is now a revealed Brewmaster, however. This is not the most common Observer Ward being placed, and Zmai is going to just reveal himself full on, so they know that the Blink Brewmaster is online. However, Denial do not know that there's a Lifestealer inside this Brewmaster. They just saw Lifestealer farming the jungle, so they wouldn't be really keen to this fact, although they might just know anyway. Initiating onto this Brewmaster is a bad idea, and well, the Brewmaster is going to turn around and initiate on you instead, but a nice Burrow Strike from fucking Mad is going to be very useful. Funzy, though, stuck in a corner, and he's going to be brought down. Milan taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to die to a tower shot. No, the IO heal. It's going to be enough to save the Lifestealer. In the meantime, fucking Mad, still with the Sandstorm, is actually not going to be dealing with anyone, as everyone else from Denial is going to... everyone else from My Insanity, actually, is going to leave the Sand King alone. I guess they don't have True Sight. Yeah, they don't have True Sight. They should have True Sight. They really should, but... Sand King is going to live, but My Insanity getting a very nice, very simple jump in. The split unfortunately didn't do that much, as I think just with the jump in from everyone else should have had the kill, but it's going to be Grazine on the bottom lane to be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be just fine. Just with the Blink clap into Lifestealer bomb, that should have been a kill, especially since Invoker was stuck in the corner. He couldn't get out even if he wanted to, so a little bit of an unnecessarily used skill there from the Brewmaster, but hey, a kill is a kill, and My Insanity are going to be more than happy to take that one home, because killing an Invoker with a Hand of Midas is pretty important. He's always going to be getting his farm, and there's nothing you can really do about that, but they just need to get a little bit more time and space for this Lifestealer, a little bit more farm, and it looks like it might be a Hand of Midas on the Lifestealer potentially. I mean, it's a good item on Lifestealer most of the time, But 13 minutes into the game, I don't really know if this is the route you want to be going. This could just as easily be a Lightning Hammer, a Maelstrom, and then he'll just be happy with that, because Maelstrom Lifestealer is pretty legit. But with the amount of gold he's holding, I'm inclined to think it is going to be a Hand of Midas. I think his team can hold down the fort for long enough, so this might not end up being punished. But Denial definitely have the type of heroes that can punish it, assuming they themselves aren't going to load up on the Midases, and it looks like that's going to be the plan. Both Paris and Funzy going to be handling that gold hand, and they will be accelerating pretty quickly, and Milan is going to be just fine. They're going to blink for Jor-El over towards the bottom lane. He will pack out most of that. Getting dropped pretty low. Now the Wisp Ball is not going to kill him off, but it's going to drop him very low. Now the Burrow Strike going to connect on to pretty much everyone. Sunstrike is finally going to land on the IO. Now they have True Sight. Burrow Strike stolen by Hatawa is going to land it onto fucking Mad. A little bit of the taste of his own medicine, the Sand King. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Support for support. That should just be about it. A little bit of beneficial trade going for my Insanity as Invoker does come in trying to look for an angle, but really can't get that much of anything going for him. In the meantime, top lane, it's going to be Paris. Was not involved in that fight aside from a Wrath of Nature, which actually, did he get any kills from that? No, he didn't, but Wrath of Nature was going to help out, but now here comes Relocate. Paris is going to need to sprout TP because it's actually a Wisp with a Rubik. That is the most uncommon IO Relocate you're ever going to see, but hey, if the Rubik has a level 4 skill in Burrow Strike and a level 4 skill in Fade Bolt, plus if they have the level 4 balls, that's quite a bit of damage. And Nature's Prophet with Hand of Midas, Int Treads, is actually not a very tanky hero, so it's weird as all hell, but my Insanity make it work, and a kill on Nature's Prophet is, again, going to be very useful. It's less pressure on their towers, which means more room for the Lifestealer. And right now, since he has gone for Hand of Midas, room is really all Milan needs. He just wants to just play passively and take this pretty much as late as he could possibly want. Of course, late game, they are going to have to deal with 2 Hands of Midases, so although Milan is going to be happy with the situation, my Insanity as a team might not be as happy. Still, they are finding themselves in a decent enough circumstance. However, maybe a little bit less so, given the fact that Jor-El now has a Blink Dagger of his own. This is like the 4th Blink Dagger of the game. 1, 2, 3. Only 3, really? It feels like more, but Blink Dagger on the Slark, never really a bad item. That, along with the Sand King's Blink, are going to let Denial play so much more aggressively right now, because Slark, up until now, has been really struggling to land these pounces, and if you miss a pounce, that's 4 skill points down the drain. Now that he has a Blink Dagger, and if he still misses pounces, then, well shit, Jor-El just never play the hero again, but it's pretty much guaranteed initiation. It's not the hardest of initiations, because they will have IO teleport out, Lifesteal with the Rage, stuff like that, in order to counteract that, but you're going to be able to Burrow Strike following it, and most of the time it's going to be pretty good, and we might end up seeing it right now as Now they're going to mobilize in the bottom lane. Their Nature's Prophet does have Wrath, and he does have a TP. So Jor-El's going to look for an angle. Burrow Strike forward from Victor is going to miss, unfortunately for him. Burrow Strike is like one of the best skills you can steal on Rubik, by the way. Or one of the best non-ultimate skills, let's say. Because there are better ultimates to steal, for sure. Jor-El's going to try to play the bait roll. It is going to work, it looks like, because my Sandy, they're going to smoke up, but it is going to be a head-on-head clash. My does have a blink split. He's going to get silenced straight away, though. All the stuns are going to miss, and Jor-El's going to be the one focused down. In fact, it's going to be Sunstrike landing onto Zmai, but he's still alive. He's going to have enough time to split, but can he actually catch anyone with it? Fucking Mad off to the south. Does have Sandstorm. Creo is off to the left. He does have a lot of moon speed, although he's going to get caught with a tornado. I don't know if the Brewmaster himself, well, he has enough support. He will be, oh my god, are you kidding? He will be brought down to earth, and he will be very quickly brought down. Or he should be very quickly brought down. Usually Scarith Mages in this situation are going to drop. But that was just like everyone blinking and swapping positions. Creo is actually still alive right now. He's going to chase Lizard away, maybe fearing a Mystic Flare. He doesn't have enough mana. In the back end, it's going to be Slark picking off the Troll, but somehow Creo is going to escape this. I don't believe it, but he makes it happen. That was a split used for Denial, and it's going to be them losing one hero, maybe even a couple more. Are you kidding me? Stop it, my Insanity, please. Oh, God. Okay, so, let's take a look at this fight. First of all, this, right? Second of all, let's see. Okay, who's stunned up? There is a pounce. I don't know. There's just a lot of lines going on. There's a pounce on Lizard. I think the Wisp is just going to die. He has 8 stick charges, and you could bet he's going to be mashing that button. Fucking Mad has a Sandstorm being channeled. That's going to do quite a bit of damage. Sandstorm, like, one of the highest damaging skills in the game. If you sit in it for the entire time, the more you know, guys. Useful things. He's landing a stun on Zmai, who is going to not have a Blink Dagger, and assuming Denial focus correctly, are going to be able to, I think, kill off this Brewmaster first. That should be what their goal is. But I don't know. Io with 8 stick charges, he's pretty tanky, about the same HP as the Brewmaster. He is tethered to him as well, so it's going to be going for Lizard, then going for the Brewmaster, and I can't draw on the map because it's paused, so Ice Frog, please fix. I think this should be 2 kills. Is it going to be 3? That's the big question. Is it going to be 3? Because Hatawa is stunned up. He does have a telekinesis. The Burrow Strike stun is pretty long, though. So his telekinesis is mostly going to be focused on Jarrell. It's really the only viable target. But I'm pretty sure right now if you're Jarrell, you're mashing your Dark Pact key and you're mashing your right click right now on Lizard. You want to kill off this Io. My Insanity, they might lose all 3 of these heroes right now. They do have a Life Stealer in the area. He'll be able to charge forward, but I don't really know how much damage he's actually going to be able to put out onto Jarrell. He is out of mana though, the Slark. So I think if he... Yeah, Milan should be able to clean up the Slark. So here's what I predict is going to happen, right? Here's what's going to happen. Denial are very quickly going to kill off the Wisp, and they are almost going to kill off the Brew, but they're just going to fall short because Hatawa is going to lift Jarrell up into the air. Then the Life Stealer is going to come in and kill the Slark, ultimately making it a 2-for-1 in favor of Denial. That's what I think is going to happen, guys. I could just be entirely wrong because the Wisp balls are out and they might do a lot more damage, but we'll see. Here we go. This is going to be so tense, guys. So tense. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Lizard. Pop the magic charges. Oh, that didn't do anything. In fact, Sunstrike I did not account for. That's going to be 3 for 0. Oh my god. I am so totally off right now. I completely forgot about Sunstrike. And it's going to be Milan also being chased down. He does not have rage. He's going to hit with a Deafening Blast as well as a whole bunch of Arcane Bolts. That's going to be everyone on my Insanity going down. Holy crap. I am so glad I did not bet money on that. I am so glad that that did not happen because I forgot completely about Sunstrike. That changed the game, and Io just got completely demolished. Like, that was just a clean sweep from Denial. That is a level 3 pact as well, so it hit both the Brewmaster as well as the Io. So, miscalculations were made, guys. Miscalculations were certainly made. I mean, I did give it to Denial anyway, so I said that they were going to take that fight with an advantage. So I'm not wrong. I'm just not as right as I could be. Right? There we go. So after that fight, it's going to be Denial very comfortably in the lead. Force Staff is almost up on fucking Mad. The Invoker has died only once, but 3-1-3 on him is pretty much exactly where you want to be on this hero. He is almost at the level 3 book. And once he has that, there's no True Sight or anything like that. Mana Burn is not going to be entirely relevant, but you can never underestimate or count out the strength of Necro Books. They always do a deceptively large amount of damage in fights, so Invoker is going to be a powerhouse, and the fact that Dry was able to survive all of that means that he's going to be collecting quite a bit off of that. I mean, he's now in 3rd place in the net worth. This is more where Slark wants to be. So often I've seen Slark just, near the bottom of the net worth chart just because they play aggressively but fall short. Now he's going to be able to play aggressively and capitalize on it. He has the Orb of Venom. Pretty much that's it. Most of the other items are just small intermediate items. But, yeah, we'll see if Denial can actually capitalize on this or if they're just going to stall out. They're going to try to go for Roshan My Insanity. Lizard's going to pop himself out and reveal this fact. And this is an Epicenter Sand King. This is not where you want to be fighting if you are My Insanity. They do have a split, and it might be that they are going to get away with this safely. As Grazine does have a Vlad, so he's taking literally no damage from Roshan. But, oh, Bash. No Bash. Drunken Haze plus Whirling Axes, I guess, is a majority mischance, but it's going to be fucking Mad. Finds Initiation onto Hatawa. Boom goes the Dynamite Sunstrike. Funzy's going to get that kill. And now Dry looking for a little bit more. Maybe not. It's just going to be a kill on the Rubik. They also pulled off the Troll from the Roshan, who, although he wasn't taking any damage, he also wasn't dealing that much damage either. There's another free kill going the way of Denial as My Insanity lose probably their least important hero right now. But as long as they don't take a fight with Split and then lose it, they should be fine bleeding these heroes. I mean, it's kind of the Io's and the Rubik's job in order to take the deaths for the team. And Jiraiya's actually going to start fighting with Grazine. This is not a fight that Grazine really wants to take, as there is a lot of Denial heroes right behind him. Lifestealer Bomb is going to fail. Now the Brewmaster into a split. Who is he going to rock? Is he going to rock anyone at all? The Courier's in the area, but he's not going to be able to do that much. This is actually a completely wasted split from the Brewmaster. That Lifestealer Bomb was absolutely disastrous. Actually, no, the split might get a little bit of value. Maybe one Boulder Toss. There it is on Funzy. Huge amounts of damage with the stuns, and now it's going to be leaving. My saying leaving, but fucking Mad's going to whiff most of his epicenter, so I guess ultimate for ultimate, but a nice deafening blast from Funzy, and a Mystic Flare is going to kill off the Troll Warlord. Now here comes Paris, blinking in for Milan, Lightning Hammer going to work. The Rage is going to pop, and he might be able to survive this. The Io needs to put some healing into this Lifestealer. It's actually going to be jump forward from Jarrell onto Hatawa, blink forward. from fucking Mad once again with another 2-man burrow strike. Milan's gonna TP out. No, he won't. He's gonna go down just barely. mYi, though, gonna clean up 1, gonna clean up 2. Paris now gonna force to sprout himself out as he and Funzy are the only ones left in this fight standing for the Denial side. Relocate out. No, don't know if that was incredibly necessary, but now the IO is gonna potentially be in a little bit of trouble, but him and Hotawa can return. This should be overall an even fight as far as the numbers are concerned, but definitely killing off the Slark is going to be huge for my Insanity. Losing the Troll, definitely less than ideal, but that should have been just so much worse for them as they used their split pretty much for nothing. I mean, it got a stun on the Invoker in the end, but it was not the initiation that my Insanity really wanted. When you're working with a Lifestealer bomb, you expect to blink, clap, split, and then at that point, once the Lifestealer Infest pops out, someone should be dead, if not near dead. And they didn't connect any of that with anyone. Like, literally none of those skills landed. So really messy initiation from my Insanity, yet they were thrown a bone regardless because Denial decided to chase forward so aggressively. I mean, when you have a Blink Dagger Force Staff on Sand King, you're pretty much always going to look to stay around the fights and land those burrow strikes. But unfortunately, the Brewmaster was in the area and healthy enough to stick around as well. Blinking, clapping onto 2 heroes is most of the time going to give you a huge edge in those fights, and we saw that happen in that last one. Now 14-6 right now, and it's going to be Creo looking for the kills. He has an Invis Rune and Milan. If he gets silenced, he's going to die. Here comes the Sand King. Oh, silence, Burrow Strike, or just a Mystic Flare. That's going to work too. Right clicks. There it is. Easy, easy kills. Didn't even amplify the Burrow Strike. Didn't even have to amplify the Burrow Strike, honestly. A level 4 seal into a Mystic Flare is going to drop pretty much anyone at this stage in the game. Lifestealer, though, as tanky as he may be, is not able to withstand that much damage. So it's going to be yet another kill going the way of Denial, now with a 15-6 kill advantage. Not really pushing as much as I really would have thought with the Nature's Prophet, but hell, as long as they're winning the fights, they don't have to be pushing. They have a ton of push, by the way. Like, the Treants, plus the Invoker with the level 3 book, is going to be able to truck towers in a very quick hurry. So now split push up on top for Paris. Initiation down bottom. mYi's going to be able to split out of this if he needs to. He doesn't because he thought he was fine. I don't know. Maybe holding on to the split is a worthwhile choice, but he's going to be down for another 40 seconds, and that was just such an easy smash and grab from Denial, killing off the Brewmaster before he had a chance to do anything. Now Lizard is going to get jumped, or is he? He does have support from Matawa, but the jump is going to land on Lizard after all. Here comes the Necro units. That's going to be death of the IO at the very least. Nature's Prophet going to teleport in. Sprout's going to land on Matawa, but Grazine is going to play the wavering game, and he's going to pull Paris off for now. But are they going to reinitiate? They have Blink Daggers galore. No, that's not going to be it. But it will be a tier 2 tower. Like, this tower has no chance at surviving right now. So, 2 kills going the way of Denial. Jaral able to find those snipes now with another 1900 gold in his pocket. I don't know if you go Basher, if you go Eye of Scotty right now as Slark. Probably not Scotty. But I think this tower should be forfeit anyway. My understanding, they do have a split, and that's something that Denial are actually going to respect. Fortification holding this tower for just long enough, and the Necro units actually timed out right before they were going for that split, so unfortunately a little bit mistimed, but that's not to say that Denial are going to give up on this bottom lane. In fact, they might want to go back in with a level 2 Epicenter. If they get the jump on anyone from my Insanity, they're going to take a crap ton of damage, if not just outright die. But there's no reason for them to do that. They're just going to play this a little bit slower, a little bit steadier, and try to go for split push up on top lane. This is not something that my Insanity can very easily punish. IO with the Lifestealer especially are not capable of doing that unless they relocate right on top of the Nature's Prophet. That's a little bit risky though. He has Blink Dagger. He's probably not going to be caught by that sort of thing. And it's going to be passive play for Denial, at least for the next couple of minutes. I don't really know what they're waiting for as far as their items are concerned. This is getting more time for the cores of my Insanity to get their items up. There's an armlet almost completed on the Lifestealer, if not outright completed. No, not quite done yet, but he hasn't actually been having the best game, always getting ganked and 4 deaths to his name. Not exactly where you want to be as a Lifestealer, but with Hand of Midas, he's guaranteed farm. Denial, it is going to be an ultimate orb item for Slark, and most of the time that is going to be a Hand of Midas, so nice little pickup for Denial there. Once they get it, it's going to be a long ways away. They're still getting their items up, and they still have quite a bit of pushing power. But right now, my Sanity, they're going to be more than happy to sit back and just wait right now. I mean, they're going to have to deal with Joral in bottom lane. He's actually going to lose more HP than he's going to gain. Or take away from the Brewmaster, rather. But my Insanity, they're okay with sitting back on this Brewmaster ultimate, waiting for the BKBs of their own, waiting for the Troll Warlord to get stronger, waiting for the Lifestealer to get stronger. I mean, the IO and Rubik, I guess they might get a couple items, but right now these 2 supports from Denial, because they are playing so passively as a team, aren't doing anything. And that's really what you want to have happen as mYi, because they don't really have supports that could do great either. So I don't really know if any openings are going to be formed right now. Jiraiya is just poking and prodding on the bottom lane, but that's not really resulting into anything. The Invoker's freaking jungling right now. Okay, we're going to stall out, and that means the perfect time to look at the gold. It's going to be, wow, that was a lot more than I really expected. 10,000 plus in favor of Denial, 10,000-ish experience as well. Not surprisingly, Denial are very far ahead in this game, as their supports are actually pretty stacked. 406 on the Scarth Mage, Jeebus. This guy hasn't died yet. That's actually pretty surprising. But he is just getting a steady stream of farm, and the Sand King with the Sandstorms obviously getting a little more farm, but him and the Scarth Mage can go for Milan if they land a Burst Strike. We saw them jump in the Lifestealer before. They do not know in mYi that Creo is in the air, and now Blink Burst Strike, but Scarth Mage is very far away, so Milan's going to be able to rage and turn around. Fucking Mad slowed to a crawl. Milan can't really chase this one now. He's in a little bit of trouble. He does have Infest, and Denial actually not going to go in for that one. I think I would have gone in for that for sure, but over on bottom lane, it's going to be Drow trying to go for his Myi. He's going to get snapped up, but he has BKB and Split. There's no chance that Smy's going to die right here. He's going to turn around and split. Jiraiya, though, into the Shadow Dance is very quickly going to make his escape. Blink out from the Invoker, and it's going to be Slark to blink out as well, or he should. Unless he gets dispelled. Blink, 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 blink. Nope, yep, there it is. Blink and Pact. In the meantime, Grazine is once again trying to kill off Roshan, but Split being used purely defensively is over on top. The kill does happen. Mystic Flare dropping the Lifestealer in the blink of an eye. This Lifestealer down. Can they actually get Roshan? There is a ping out by fucking Mad. Sunstrike is there as well. Epicenter being charged up. Grazine does not have a BKB. He's going to eat the entirety of an Epicenter. A Deafening Blast as well. Going to bring him down. Smythe, the BKB, is going to withstand most of that. Now he's going to try to go for Funzy. Doing a lot of damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough to Ghost Walk. Here comes Jiraiya. He's not going to be able to do much either. Funzy's going to disengage. Paris doesn't want to disengage. He wants in. Burst Strike forward for Zmai, as Hatawa is going to be the one to escape. Lizard's going to try to relocate. No, he's not actually. He's just going to try to heal Zmai. The damage is not going to be there. Funzy going to try to duel up against Brewmaster. It's going to work as well. Hatawa with the Fade Bolt Burst Strike, though, is dropping everyone from Denial so low. Fucking Mad's going to die to an Urn Charge. Paris still fighting. Wants a Lightning proc. Is not going to get one either, but Jiraiya's still alive. He's going to clean up the rest of the heroes for mYi. That's 22 for 8. That's a 5 for 2 trade in favor of Denial. It shouldn't be Roshan because actually they might have enough. It's going to be close. The Lifestealer should be making a beeline to this area, though he's not going to. It's a 5 for 2. And wow, that was quite the win for Denial. It was scrappy as all hell, but when you're working with a Slark and a Sand King, constantly disengaging and re-engaging is going to be the name of the game. And that's exactly what happened for them. They got so much value out of those Burrow Strikes. And got handed to the Rubik. He's been getting some very good Burrow Strikes as well. But there's only so much you could do as Rubik when you're up against this much sustained right-click damage from Denial. So it's going to be a huge advantage for Denial. Nature's Prophet going to find a regen rune straight after. He now has a Sheep Stick. And wow, I don't think Paris was very lucky with those Maelstrom procs in that last fight. But it doesn't matter. I don't really think it does matter. I mean, with a Sheep Stick, you're pretty much able to teleport and kill literally anyone of mYi. Brewmaster is tanky for sure. His evasion's going to be annoying. But once you hex him up, he can't BKB or split or anything like that. If you follow up with any sort of damage at all from Funzy or the Slark or the Sand King, really any of the Denial heroes can combo so well with that Sheep Stick, then they're going to be able to drop literally anyone of mYi. And after that fight, Slark now picking up an Eye of Scotty. This is Denial in firm control of the game. Again, they have yet to take to tier 2 any real tier 2 towers, which is kind of surprising as both mid and bottom, no, they're really banged up, but they're not dead just yet. They should be looking for these towers with Treants, plus all the summons in the Invoker, and it looks like it will be the course of action for them as Paris is going to snipe a Courier, was only holding like a TP scroll. Now Hatawa, what are you doing there, Hatawa? Bad place to be as a Rubik. He's going to go down. Let's see what was on that Courier. Yeah, nothing much. Observer Wards, I guess, kind of a big loss, but not going to bother them too much. Joral, in the meantime, forcing out the split from Brewmaster. And Brewmaster, this is the second time in a row, I believe, where he's been forced to use the split purely defensively. Now Joral going to find solace with the rest of his teammates. Burst Strike from fucking Man onto Milan is going to slow the rest of the reinforcements down for mYi. Mystic Flare is going to land squarely onto Grazine. No chance for him to survive. However, Joral is going to drop. That's only the Aegis for him. He's going to be back up in a hurry. Paris still willing to fight this one out. Doesn't have a Blink Dagger because of the negative Urn Charge. Blink forward fucking Mad. Wants a Force Staff. Burst Strike into Lizard, but he will go off to the side. Milan is going to be the tether target, and it will be an escape for the Wisp, but they lose 2 heroes still. In the meantime, Funzy, not really being a part of that fight towards the very end, is taking down Tier 3 Tower, is now banging down those racks as mYi They need the most glorious of life Sleeper Bombs if they wanted to defend this, but I don't really even know if that's on the table. This is going to be one set of Raxes down at the very least. I think Denial can slide up to the top lane and take that as well, and that's exactly going to be their course of action. These Treants are going to provide all the bodies that they need. There's no backdoor protection kicking in right now. Fade Bolt is annoying, but it's not going to be enough. Zmai's going to jump in, instantly get silenced, and Hex though. Sunstrike is going to land squarely onto the Brewmaster. There he goes. Milan going to try to go for Creo. That's a kill that he might be able to take, and he does. But can he take anything else? So Jaral's going to clean up the rest of the heroes in the back end. Fucking mad. Running away from Milan. Going to get mech'd up. That's actually a mech Sand King, which he just got delivered. Perfect timing there. Milan going to get infest. A little more health for him, but Funzy, the Deafening Blast, going to turn things around onto the tower. Paris is going to blink forward with now the epicenter from fucking mad. Going to do so much damage, killing off Milan in the end. The Wisp somehow is going to survive that, but Gazine, I don't think he's going to live. Necro units once again being popped. Fucking mad should have another Burrow Strike soon in 3, 2, 1. A Blink Burrow Strike is going to kill off Gazine if not for Milan's buyback in, but he opens the wound of Invoker. Can't really follow up. Now the Burrow Strike onto Milan. Here comes the Slark once again. Milan's going to die back. That's GG. You can't defend with only 2 more heroes. And Denial. It took them a little bit to get going, but they take the game in the end. mYi just don't have the gas in the tank, and really I think it's a lot to do with that Brewmaster. I mean, the Brewmaster's job was to win these fights for mYi. Clearly that didn't happen. He was constantly aggressed upon. He was constantly jumped. He was not able to get the split out in a timely fashion, and that means that Denial are going to tie up this game. 6-1-13, a brilliant display from Paris as well as Funzy, but honestly, I think it's mostly the supports that made it this game for Denial. They held down the fort so well. The Sand King from fucking mad. Those Burrow Strikes were on point, and unfortunately for mYi, they're going to be forced to a game 3. We're going to be seeing how that one pans out in just a little bit, guys. Stay with me here on HeflaTV 1. I'm Mike Loris. I'm going to bring you game number 3 after a very short break. As soon as the lobby is up, we're going to be getting this one going. So thanks for watching, guys. GG.